Okay, I've already done Aries all the way through to Capricorn. Today I'm on Aquarius and Pisces. Okay. I gave myself a bit longer to let my throat recover. For some reason my voice was like breaking. I was having to throat clear. Like, I don't want to do that on the videos. I think the Scorpio one was the worst. Anyway, what's done is done. So let's shuffle the cards for Aquarius. Let's do a bit of sage. I dreamt that I was part of the Osbournes family because I've been watching Ozzy Osbourne. I've been watching the Osbournes TV show. I think I've seen it all now, which is a shame. Was there only 3 seasons? I think I've seen it all. I know there's the basement tapes, but I don't like it because it just reminds me that they were like much more recent, weren't they? Like a few months ago, and then I like to pretend that they're still doing their thing. Okay. Yeah, so we're starting with Aquarius, just Aquarius and a Pisces. Just Aquarius and a Pisces. Aquarius and Pisces in this one. If you want the other signs, go out of this live and click on those last lives that I did. Oh dear. The name of the zodiacs, Dawn, are in the titles of those lives, okay? It's back to school tomorrow, so I'm taking my nephews shopping for backpacks, new school bags. We'll make a day of it. We'll go to Nando's and we'll do the cinema or swimming or something. Spirit guides, universe and angels, please stand beside me and guide me for Aquarius's highest good. How is Aquarius feeling in this first week of September 2025 with regards to the one they're thinking about, dealing with or manifesting in? 3 cards for Aquarius's feelings, first of all. Okay, you have got, Aquarius, you've got the 9 of Wands reversed and the 3 of Swords upright. So you've been going through a lot of challenges for a long time, okay? And if that was upright, you'd be willing to continue with it, but it's reversed, so you're not willing to continue like that anymore, because it's breaking your heart, okay? So we're choosing to let something go, even though it's sad, even though it's painful. It's like facing reality and saying, like, I can't continue with something that's very difficult for me, very upsetting for me, very trialing, very, just so much adversity, so much difficulty. Love should be easy. If you're right for each other and it works, yes, there's things to discuss at times, yes, there's things to compromise on, but it should mostly just flow. You'll know that if you've ever had a relationship and it just flows. It's so natural. It shouldn't be constant battles. That's not right. So, but it doesn't make it any less sad to, you know, call it a day on something. Thanks for the likes. Thank you. Let's get 2 more for Aquarius. How is Aquarius feeling? Yeah, so this is like just confirmation of what I've already said. Okay, so if these cards were upright, it would be very, very clear that, you know, someone's putting time, money, and energy into growing it. Okay, growth and expansion. 8 is about expansion, growth, investment. You know, she's got her work tools, her workbench. She's working diligently to invest into something. So if that was career, you're trying to, you know, acquire more trades or build, you know, a side hustle or take on professional qualifications, get promotions. If it's love, you're trying to make it enduring. You're trying to give it your time, money, and energy because you want it to just last forever. You know, you're serious about creating lasting generational wealth. The Knight of Cups would be like a Romeo. Hi, Afsan. The Knight of Cups would be like a Romeo and Juliet vibe. Like, I really think I'm falling in love with you. You know, it's a knight is someone that's actively dating someone and they're falling in love and they want to express that cup of emotion to that other person, you know, because no one else will do. It has to be this person. So it's a very exclusive, like Romeo had to have Juliet. He didn't want anyone else. It had to be Juliet. You know, they lived and died for each other. It was the same with Juliet for him. So this is like very dreamy, but it's not an empty offer. It's like serious because look, there's all this growth and expansion. Now the fact these are reversed is like, I'm no longer coming to you in a romantic sense. I'm no longer putting my time, my money, and my energy into this. You know, I'm not going to continue paying a mortgage. I'm not going to continue paying rent. I'm not going to continue, you know, giving you my time, my money, my energy, you know, going on dates with you, like living with you, or because I'm saying it in like a sense of like a more serious love, like a more established love, because you've got the heartbreak, but I don't know if it is. They're just examples. You know, maybe it's like I've no longer got the intention of. I've no longer got the intention of, you know, this kind of a feature with you. So it could be like, I no longer have this, like, you can be in love with someone, right, and you've not been together for a long time, and then you've got the intention of in the future getting married or in the future having a mortgage. There's no longer that intention, basically, if it isn't established. Hi, Riley. Oh, what's come out here? Look, the reason is there was not equal give and take. I know this because the Six of Pentacles should be upright. The Six of Pentacles is about balance. You see that she's holding the scales. You see that the 6 Pentacles, 6 is an even number. These are increments of time, money, and energy. This person's trying to be fair to both. They're trying to give 3 Pentacles to one person, 3 to the other. So it's a card of reciprocity. For example, if someone was always needing money from you or needing you to pay, that isn't reciprocity. That's unfair. It's unequal, you know. if they're always waiting for you to get in touch, you know, to instigate conversation or messages or arrange dates, that's kind of like very lazy. If they never express that you know how much you mean to them, and you're always expressing and making yourself vulnerable to them emotionally, and they're not making themselves emotionally vulnerable to you, or you're trying to get hold of them but they've never got time, it's this kind of thing, it's time, money and energy that is like, I think you believe that you've been doing more of the work, okay? Because that's reversed, so it's not fair. The moon card. The moon card is the major arcana for Pisces. In the story of the major arcana, the fool realizes that he must walk forwards anyway, even if things are in the dark, things are hidden, things are unknown. Even if it's creating fear in us, we must walk forwards anyway. So it's like Aquarius, it's like you're coming out of your comfort zone. Okay, so you've decided that you've realized something isn't fair and you need to withdraw from it. And it's actually going to be quite uncomfortable. It's going to hurt. It's not going to be a comfortable transition. Okay, it's going to be a sad one. It's going to be maybe causing a lot of practical issues and financial issues, emotional issues, you know, but what comes after is going to be better, isn't it? If we're not getting reciprocity, what is the point? You're getting depleted in emotion, depleted in time, depleted in energy, depleted in finances. For what? So let's see what let's see who shows up. Let's see who shows up in your reading. I'm expecting it to be the person that you've been struggling with, but it could be the one that's on your mind, the one that you're dealing with, or the one that you're manifesting in the future. Well, I'm glad people like listening to my voice. What don't you agree with? Are you Aquarius? Or you don't like tarot? You're a Gemini. Okay. You don't understand tarot readings. Well, basically, it's like a deck of cards. They're like playing cards. You know, there's different suits, and the numbers run from 0 through to 10. So they all have like a meaning. And so I'm just, it's like learning anything, you know, like you just learn the meaning of the cards, and I usually explain them. And the cards that come out, I'm just interpreting them and putting them together to get a narrative. It's if you watch tarot for a couple of years, you'd be able to be a tarot reader, honestly. Well, some tarot readers explain what the cards mean and some don't. Okay, but I don't see the point in not explaining it, because as I explain it, it kind of like makes the, that's how I work out what the narrative is, that what the messages are and stuff. I'm kind of thinking out loud. Anyway, I concentrate because the cards don't come out if I get distracted. Yeah. Well, you'd be amazed, but one of my biggest audiences are Indian, so, you know, super religious. Tarot's not, it's just, it helps people to feel okay with what's actually going on in their life. Like if they've got a breakup happening, they can meet other people who are also going through a breakup and get support. Like that's what helped me when I was going through a breakup and trying to make sense of why things are happening in your life. Like social media is very toxic. It's only posting like positive things that happen into you, really. So if you're not feeling good and you go on it, other people are gloating about what's going great for them. Like, I'm traveling here, I'm on this holiday, we just got our first house, we just had a baby, we got married. What if you're not going through a good time? Tarot is like a place where you can meet other people who are also wondering like if they're ever going to be with the person that they love, or, you know, why did that breakup happen? Why did I meet someone who's toxic? You kind of soul searching and then healing. So it's not, I wish people wouldn't call me the devil or like say it's sorcery or anything like that, because it's not. It's helping people to heal. Hi Sharon. I'm an omnist, so I'm very happy with the presence of all religions, but for me this is my religion and I don't want anyone to like to like say it's not right or it's this or it's that. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm not doing that to anyone else. If you have to denounce something else's existence, then you've got no tolerance. And I think a good person has tolerance, a good person has understanding, and a good person lets other people make their own mind up about things. Yeah, I'm not having a go. It's just like, I know some people assume that tarot is like, I don't think they realise it's like trying to help people. That's all it is. It's trying to help people. You said it in a way that was respectful, so that's fine. Right, so someone's showing up in your reading, Aquarius, that has 8 of Swords reversed and the Ace of Pentacles upright. Now, this is positive, believe it or not, because that looks like distressing, that card, but the 8 of Swords, when it's upright, would be a negative card because that's someone who's stuck in their head. The swords represent thoughts like, I feel stuck, there's no way out. It's like a negative mindset. The sense of being, you know, in prison is an illusion. The sense of there being no way out is an illusion. It's your mind telling you, you know, there's no way to make this work. This person's come out of that way of thinking because it's reversed and they're ready. Like, okay, this is a huge offer of investment from this person. They want to offer something, or they've received something that's made them very financially viable. So aces are the universe making something that we really want, something that we've worked hard for and asked for. You know, you have to, if you want financial abundance, you can't just ask for it. You have to put out CVs to get a good job, or you have to go for promotions, or you have to start businesses, or you have to, there's practical work that's being done by this person, but the universe agrees with it. So the universe is giving it a nice dose of good luck as well. So maybe this person's become more optimistic since this level of financial success was attained. Or yeah, I feel like they've become more optimistic. They could see like a way around something now due to this, or they're ready to offer. They've seen their way out of something, so now they're ready to offer like solid investment, because that pentacle is so large, it represents a lot of money, a lot of abundance. Like, let's get a mortgage together, let's move in together. Solid investment, large investment. So it's either feeling better because the finances are better and something's more viable now, financially and practically. Might be quite a practical minded person. So if you haven't got your ducks in a row, you're not going to see a way forward. You're not going to say, like, yeah, let's do this. Or if say, like, if something's a bit taboo because you work together and one of you is like a boss and the other one's a subordinate, you're like, there's no way this is possible, so I'm not investing in this because we could get into serious trouble, one of us could lose our jobs. Then if one of you moves to another company and then there's no like conflict of interest, suddenly you might offer investment because you're like, well, now this isn't wrong, now there isn't an issue with this, I would like to invest in you. So I'm not sure which way round it is. It's like the chicken and the egg. But there's an intention to invest and in a big way where there wasn't before. And it was Pentacles that you were bothered about, Aquarius, before. Right, we've got a lot of cards here. Look. Oh my goodness, the Four of Wands, the Two of Cups, King of Cups reversed, Seven of Wands, Page of Wands, Six of Cups, the Ace of Swords. This person has got all kinds of, like, you know, they're like, I want marriage. That's what the 1111 card is. The Four of Wands. Four is a number of stability. It's like the most stable number. Okay, so like the four legs to a chair, the four walls to a house. It's immovable. This is like solid happiness. I want to be exclusive with you. I want everyone to know. I want us to live together. I want us to get married. Any of that, all of that. Okay. This person's in love and they believe that you're in love with them as well. Now, the King of Cups reverse could be that they're under emotional about it or over emotional. Looking at what's here, I'd say they're over emotional, like their cup runneth over with emotion. And they're a king, right? So a king is not someone who's irrational or impulsive. This is someone who's established, they're emotionally intelligent, but they're overwhelmed with emotion at the thought of this love, at the thought of offering you a future, a real future together. They're prepared to come up against whatever, they're prepared to do whatever it takes. With the Seven of Wands, it's like, I will get what I want. The Page of Wands is like optimism. You know, this is not an ex, this is someone new to you. They've never walked this road before. So a page is someone who's naively optimistic. They're excited. They don't have any preconceived ideas about this going wrong, this derailing, or like, you know, it's not an ex, it's a new love. Oh, thank you, Afsan. That's really... You don't have to do anything, do you know what I mean? But just to be curious and open-minded and accepting is like enough. Six of Cups upright is this person loves you. They're really in love, and these are, in these cups, these are feelings of emotion that have built up to be like on the level of a family member. This person holds you in very high regard. They would take care of you, they would love you, and they would make many nice memories with you. They feel that you are meant to be together, okay, that you're a very good match, that you'll make a beautiful life together. The Ace of Swords is they haven't told you this yet because it's reversed. Okay, they've got all this going on in their heart and in their mind, but they haven't told you. The Ace of Swords is like major clarity, major revelations, a confession. I believe that, you know, they've had these revelations. They're very much clear about what they want. and what they see this as, but they haven't told you yet. And I'm worried because on your side of the reading, Aquarius, it's all like heartbreak and something's been too difficult and withdrawing investment and not equal give and take. And then this person's come out of their head and they're like all for like giving you their time, money, and energy. And I'm just worried that like it could be that you're leaving something and you'll meet this person or you know this person, but it could be that you've got disillusioned because you feel like you were working at it and they weren't, and you're on totally different pages. Like now they're really all for this and like in a very, very serious way. Let's get we need to get another one for them and then we can get the outcome. The Eight of Cups reversed is not wanting to walk away from a marriage or a relationship that's established. You want to work on it. The Nine of Cups reversed is being very unhappy within ourselves, like as an individual, because something looks like it's over. We don't want it to be over. The Three of Wands reversed is not taking any action after a planning phase. The Nine of Swords reversed is dropping anxieties and fears. The Six of Wands upright is victory, success, recognition, being celebrated. The Five of Pentacles reversed is coming out from the cold. Financially, emotionally, time, money, and energy has been returned to us. There's definitely been some sort of change because this tells a story. This tells a story of, I'm gutted that this is like potentially over and I want it not to be. But it's someone that you haven't, because they're showing up as a page. It's like when you're showing up as a knight, they're showing up as a page. You've not had a relationship with this person before, but you could have been in love with each other, like you knew each other somehow, or you were hooking up and it was friends with benefits or a situationship or something. It never got to be like lived out and played out as a proper relationship, but it's like both of you saw the potential and wanted. It's really sad. It's like you both saw the potential and wanting to invest, but at different times. It's the timing that's the issue here, and it's not just like, oh, you thought of it at different times. It's practical. It's down to practical issues. You know, things that people wouldn't agree with, something that wouldn't make it possible that got them all up in their head, or miscommunication is something, but I do feel it's to do with their finances. Let's get 3 for the outcome. It's like a movie, this one. What will be the outcome, please? As of this week of September, anyway. The Hermit upright. The Emperor. Okay, that's good. Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands, the Judgment. What is going on here? Right there. So let's go through each card one at a time because it helps me to understand. The Hermit is the major arcana for Virgo. Okay, this is a reflective energy. This is like, I need to pull back. I need to think about things by myself without input from anyone. The answers lie within me. He's so focused on healing. He's so focused on wish fulfillment. It's like, you can't ask other people what went wrong in a relationship. You know, the only people that know what went on are the two people that were in it, really. People can observe, people can see snapshots of what's going on or hear secondhand this side or that side of a story, but the two people in it know what went on, okay? Only you know whether you ignored red flags. Only you know what you want in the future. Only you know which parts of a person you value and what, you know, characteristics you would like in your next person and how you feel about things. So it involves just introspection, a period of isolation, introspection, reflection. It's very healthy. This is a healthy energy. Okay, if we don't reflect, if we don't take stock, if we don't mull things over or stop to think about what went down, what was our part, what was their part in things, and we just jump into bed with someone else or we just declare our love for someone else, we're not emotionally intelligent. So this is an emotionally intelligent thing to do, is to take time out and think for ourselves, you know, what's gone on here, what was my part, what was their part, what do I want next, what do I want to avoid next. Like, the Emperor is the major arcana for Aries. This is all four kings, so the King of Wands, the King of Swords, the King of Pentacles, the King of Cups. This is someone who has it all. They're emotionally intelligent, like the King of Cups is. They're very abundant and generous and giving, good with paying the bills, earthly matters, like a good King of Pentacles. The King of Wands, ambitious, goal-orientated, confident, assertive, almost arrogant, okay, good-looking. King of Swords, intelligent, truthful, noble, wants to help the community, strategic, you know, analytical, thinks and plans before taking action. So this is a card. This is a card of someone who's taking leadership over their life after a period of reflection, a period of deep introspection, like going under the surface of the water and like staying there and then coming back up to the surface, you know. Now we've got the Queen of Swords and the Queen of Wands. The Queen of Swords can be a divorce card. She's not taking any prisoners, you know, like she's got that sword ready. She's like, I'll hear you out, but if you speak wrong, if you approach me wrong, I will use this sword, okay, to do some damage. Queen of Wands is someone who's goal-orientated, ambitious, can be a third-party card, so the other man, the other woman in a situationship, the person outside of the marriage. She's seductive, she's confident, she knows what she wants, she's got a plan, and she will actuate it. That's air energy because it's swords, so it's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. It's about justice, truth, honesty, getting straight to the point, not dancing around things. This is fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It's about ambition, ego, getting what you want, taking action. This is This is the Judgment card reversed, okay? So there's a call to act. The angels are trying to raise their dead. They're like, there's something that needs to happen here, and you're ignoring it because it's reversed. Having spoken about it out loud, it could be that after a period of deep contemplation, and it could be like 6 months or more, you're taking back control of your life, and you may be asking for a divorce, and then thinking about what you want. But I don't know why the Judgment's reversed, because with the Emperor card, that's taking leadership. So why is the Judgment reversed? Let's get 2 more, because it might change. The Hierophant, this is the major arcana for Taurus. The Hierophant is the teacher. This person is no longer a student, they're now the teacher, because they lived so much life. They have so much experience now, so many harsh lessons have been learned, that they wish to, use wisdom now and be wise and act in a way that's more wise. And they like to communicate with others what they've experienced, so that other people don't have to suffer the hardships that this person has suffered themselves. And that's upright, so that's in the outcome. Oh my god. The Knight of Swords upright and the Eight of Wands upright. So the communication's coming, and it's going to be rapid, guys. Like, if this hasn't already happened, it's coming soon, and it's going to be like honest. It's going to be blurted out. It's not BS. It's the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And it may be just delivered in the most hurried way or the most emotional way. And the Eight of Wands is fast action, progress, fast communication. And it may be from your person, they may think that you're leaving. It's either you communicating to them, or they're communicating to you. And look, they have all this stuff in their head that they want to say, and they haven't been saying it. So I think it could be a confession of love, of deep adoration, of an intention for, a fine future together. I think this has been something that wasn't possible financially, and now it is. So it's not that they didn't want it, it's that it probably wasn't possible before. Let's just refresh our memory with the other cards. Yeah, because look, they've got victory, success, recognition now on their side. They're coming out from the cold. They're not anxious about this anymore. It doesn't make them happy to be by themselves. They don't want this to be over. I think they're going to confess their love for you, and I think they're going to tell you, like, I'm ready to invest. I want to make an honest man, an honest woman of you. I want us to be out in the open. I want everyone to know that you're mine. I don't want anyone else involved. Shit. And You know, the only thing you wanted was reciprocity. The only thing you wanted was emotional openness, emotional vulnerability, and someone to seriously, this person to seriously invest. You didn't want it to be staying at a fling. So whether you were already taken or whatever it was that the challenges were, if it was miscommunication, poor timing, impractical situation, taboo situation, whatever it is, you are and have been heartbroken over this person. You've been absolutely heartbroken. And you thought that they weren't serious about you. You know, that it was games or they were immature or something. And they may have been immature, or they may have just not been. It may have been like the wrong time for them. Like they could be a bit younger. They could be a bit older. I don't know, but you're getting swift communication now, and it's like no holds barred. Like if there's someone you're devastated over and you can't understand like where it went wrong and why it's gone cold, and you know it feels like they weren't as serious they are and they're coming to tell you. Right, let's clarify why they didn't say anything before. Vicious circle. Pattern of relationship issues, bad habits, and no-win situation. Okay, so they could have been getting themselves into situations where it wasn't possible to get commitment. They could have had like a history of that because they weren't ready like financially. So, you know, they were getting involved with like people where it can't go anywhere. You know, when people like go out with players and they know they're a player, whether they're male or female, they know they're like just screwing around with them, or they're like love bombing them, and they've got, you know, probably like zero intention of it ever going somewhere. But they would actively pursue people like that because they didn't have the financial situation to offer anything, you know, to someone of like high value. So they were just taking what they felt they were worth. It's not like they thought they were always going to be at that level. They just knew like they weren't. It wasn't the time for them. Whoops, two. For some reason, two have come out. So let's look at both of them. Fiery balance, embrace intense forces, offset turmoil, and stabilize with calm resolve. Yeah, there's something that's really like unbalanced here. So it could be caused by intense chemistry, passion, physical attraction, you know, high emotions, reciprocal lines, navigate boundaries with grace, mastering the art of give and take in harmony. And we've got scales again here. Strike a balance between freedom and commitment. Yeah, this person's not used to getting give and take from people. So they could have been a little bit demanding because, you know, that's always the argument in every situation that they're in. It's like they're not getting enough time, money, or energy from someone. And then you might have felt like, well, why would I give that to you when you aren't ready to like level up or do this or do that or take this seriously kind of thing. So It does seem like it was quite an impractical situation before, but that's changed. Possibly there's someone, you know, that you really want to be with, that they've actually, since you've separated from them, they've you know, they've progressed with their career, they've started a business, they've leveled up, they've taken professional qualifications, they're in a better position to invest and have something real now. This person's so tired of drama, okay? Like the kind of people that they've been getting involved with just bring them drama and make them hurt and upset, and they realise it's not going anywhere, but they can't even, you know, if you touch the fire, you get your fingers burnt, so they can't really mess about with people who are emotionally unavailable without getting hurt some way, somehow. Because people will behave very insensitively. Not all people, but some people, you know, if you're just with them because they're good looking and it's just good times or whatever, they can treat you really, really badly, can't they? They want stability. This person wants stability. They want an exclusive relationship. They want marriage. They want, you know, to pay their half of everything. And they want you to be theirs, and they want to be yours. No one else involved. Okay, this is the unspoken truth now, which is very apt because this is the unspoken truth. This is the unspoken truth. Okay, let's do it like this. Do you ever think of me too? You've come further than you think. I'm scared of what we could become. Okay. Like, there's a certain amount of it's been like a really wild ride with this person, like a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of toxicity, because, you know, they could have accused you of stuff. They could speak to you in a way that's very straight or direct, because they're distressed, they're upset, they're frustrated, and vice versa. There could be, you know, like this sense that it doesn't flow, or, you know, cat and mouse, runner chaser dynamic, like twin flames. Like, why can't we ever get on the same page? Why can't it ever be calm for a decent amount of time? Why do we keep falling out? Why do we keep? But they've never stopped thinking about you. The unspoken truth is you've come further than you think. I can only think with this that there's been some sort of ascension, you know, like spiritually, emotionally, and practically. There's been an ascension, and oh God, it's really intense. This, they're ready now. They don't want it to be how it was. They're not excited by the drama. They hate drama. They don't want it to be how it was. They want legit, like living together, married, 50-50 in every way, like emotional vulnerability, calm, serene, happy, generosity, like, oh my God, it's so intense. Let's get a no contact message. You feel like home. Being with you reminds me of simpler times. You bring me so much happiness and peace. Oh, they love thinking about you, like they will just daydream, they'll look at your photos, they'll like get flashbacks of like nice times that you've had together. They feel like they belong, like when they're with you, it just clicks into place, like two puzzle pieces click together. I think the drama comes when, there isn't availability, there isn't practical, and you're on different pages and you're not communicating with each other. But when like things are good, they're just like, this is right, this feels right, and when they're not with you, they're thinking about you and it makes them feel really good. What's the nature of this connection, please? Be optimistic. Keep in mind that you create your reality. You can't attract love with a negative mindset. Unbreakable love. This person has genuine love for you. You can overcome any issues that may arise. Take a leap of faith. Only when you're willing to step out of your comfort zone. Did I not use those words earlier, Aquarius? Will you reap great rewards? I think they need to step out of their comfort zone and stop dealing with, idiots. And you need to step out of your comfort zone, okay? And like, you both need to invest in each other properly. Let go of the need to control. Allow the situation to unfold naturally. Once they tell you, like, all the things that they need to tell you, it's going to fall together. Thank you, Afsan. Let's get some sacred geometry. Coherence. The frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. Soul time. The frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge. One that embraces the concept that while the corporeal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. Okay, so I got more clarification, and there's something to do with a gold digger, a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius, and commitment. So put that together how you want. It doesn't always mean that because people have less money or assets than you, that they haven't been exploited for the money that they do have. There's always people that have less A lot of people that don't have very much, or that appear to not have very much, have been exploited financially, you know. What else do I want? So let's get the Sea Melodies Oracle. Patience. The tides will come in when it's ready. This is going to happen when it's just the right timing. Okay, let's get a divine timing to see if we can get any more. Trust that it will happen when the time is right. Okay, so the cogs of life are turning and they're going to lock in together at just the right. You know, imagine like two cogs turning, where they're going to lock together at the right time, and the practical situation will be right, the financial situation will be right. Things won't be taboo anymore, things won't be adverse or difficult anymore, and it's just going to lock in. You know, this person's going to open up their heart and make themselves vulnerable, and then you're going to realise everything they want from this, and that it's safe for you to come out of your comfort zone. You know, they're safe to come out of their comfort zone, and you're going to get on the same page with everything. So all that's left to do is get you a self-care wisdom card and then some positive affirmations. Calm. A breakdown is often followed by a breakthrough. Remain calm. This has fallen apart, but it's got to fall back together. I'm telling you now. When you have this is an example, when you have poor mental health, it's not that you're never going to get better again. There is a white light and you will get out the end of that tunnel. You will, because I've been there myself several times. Okay, but circumstances change. External realities are changing constantly. Internal realities, how we feel inside, is changing constantly. We're deep in reflection, deep in contemplation. You know, external realities are improving. Financially, we're working hard and gaining, you know, better practical situations. People reflect on their own behaviour. They get tired of the drama and they don't want to go towards losers anymore, you know. People realise, you know, what needs to be said, and they say it. They get brave and they say it. They can't hold it back anymore. Right, let's get positive affirmations. Where's that gone? I honour myself by establishing healthy boundaries. You've had boundaries a few times here. Where else did you have boundaries? It's here, reciprocal lines. Navigate boundaries with grace, mastering the art of give and take in harmony. I honour myself by establishing healthy boundaries. I think it's both of you. I think you've both been used for money, you know. They've had gold diggers, and you've worried that this person wouldn't be able to pay their own way, but they're the ones getting used for money over and over. And they have levelled up. They're a really hard worker. They've levelled up. They're actually a King of Cups, you know, they're, perhaps they're more emotionally intelligent and more well off than what you realise, or what they've shown, what they've proven, you know. This is very interesting reading, this. Very interesting. I am filled with positive energy and optimism. You've got patience, be optimistic, let go of the need to control, unbreakable love, take a leap of faith, coherence, healthy boundaries, optimism. It's really nice, Aquarius. I'm really happy for you. And when it's the right time, it'll happen. Okay, you get some sort of like communication from this person, some sort of like vulnerability, expression of, you know, like strong intention. I don't know if I did this one. Protected by angels. You are cherished by the angels. No one's going to let anything bad come towards you, you know, in terms of like this connection. It could be getting divinely brought together by someone that's passed on, or a set of people. Beautiful. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this reading. Please give it a like, share, subscribe, follow, repost, support the channel, hype the channel for me. You can hype small creators now to try and get them more noticed. If you think I am worthy, if you think I have good advice, if you think, you know, I have a nice setup, if you think it makes sense, if you think it could help other people, trust that it will happen when the time is right. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to be going on to Pisces. If you want any of the other signs, click out of the live and go to the last 3 lives that I've done. Okay, I did 3 signs in each. Well, I did 4 in the last one because I felt bad. Someone had been waiting for Capricorn, so we did Capricorn in the last one as well. Just Aquarius and Pisces in this one. Okay, let's have a shuffle, because a lot went down in that. It was a very beautiful reading, but we want to make sure we've got fresh energy. Spirit guides, universe, and angels, please stand beside me and guide me for Pisces' highest good. How is Pisces feeling in this first week of September 2025 with regards to one they're thinking about or dealing with or manifesting in? 3 cards for Pisces, first of all. How is Pisces feeling? You're very upset over something. You've wanted to cooperate, and it's heartbreaking, and you want progress, you want forward movement, Pisces. Like, 3 is a number of community. It's about working together. These 3 people are each putting in equal increments of time, money, and energy to make it work. And it doesn't have to be that there's 3 people, in your situation. It could be a workplace, but it could just be that you want to work together with your person, right? You want cooperation. You want change, you want progress, and it's really breaking your heart. The 4 of Swords came out, but it kind of turned once it was on the desk and it went sideways, which is a challenge position. So there's a restlessness, and that makes sense because we've got the 8 of Wands. We're restless for change. This is someone that's taking rest. They've put the swords down and they're in meditation. They're lying down, they're relaxing their body, relaxing their mind. It's the challenge. You can't relax your body, you can't relax your mind. You're like desperate for this situation to change. Okay, so we're starting to leave, after meditating, we're starting to leave the past behind us. Okay, we're starting to accept change, accept transition, move on. Now, it doesn't mean that you're giving up on your person, but you're emotionally putting things, you've calmed down, you put certain hang-ups or things to bed, like we're moving on emotionally to a calmer place. You may have accepted that you can't force anything. Let's see who comes out in your reading, because you're obviously upset over someone. Could be someone that's on your mind, someone that you're actually dealing with, or someone that you're manifesting in the future. Ten of Pentacles is in the challenge position, okay? So this person is either trying to achieve the Ten of Pentacles, which is lasting generational wealth. That's what you get by putting 2 incomes together, 2 lots of savings together, potentially putting assets together. You create money for your children, for your children's children, for parents, whoever, pets, whoever it is. That's in the challenge position. Let's see what else comes out, because we don't really know until we get more cards. The Emperor, someone's taking charge. This person has all 4 kings, okay? They're the King of Wands, the King of Swords, the King of Pentacles, the King of Cups. The King of Wands is ambitious, goal-orientated, takes action. Creates a goal, goes for it, gets what they want, on to the next goal. Okay, fire energy. The King of Pentacles is someone that works hard, is concerned with earthly matters like paying the bills, creating a sense of security, financial security, being able to lavish themselves and others with nice things. They like to spend money, but they don't like to be broke. They hate having an empty bank account. Okay, so this is a grafter. This is someone that likes to show love by providing things, a nice environment and things to people. They love security. They thrive off security. Okay. The King of Swords is the King of Swords is intelligent, intellectual, a thinker. They will plan out everything. There will be total strategy, forward thinking, forward planning. Nothing's done on a whim. They like to be truthful. They like to be humanitarian. They like to help people. They could be very motivational when they speak. They could be, very influential in a positive way. Try to make people be the best version of themselves. There's a sense of truth and honour, with swords, justice, the community. The King of Cups is very emotionally intelligent. They're patient, they're understanding, they're forgiving. They manage their emotions very well. They're under the same level of stress as everyone else, but they will absorb it and they won't take it out on others. Okay, so the Emperor is the highest status in the tarot deck because he has all 4 kings. He's all of the suits. So it's about, when it comes out, it's the major arcana for Aries. It's fire energy, it's leadership, it's taking control. They could be a person that runs a household already. They could be a father or a mother. The person that's the shot caller, the person that, organises the house, or the person that has the overall say, the one that everyone looks up to because they just seem really calm, really wise, really like brooding. They don't move quickly, they move carefully, they move with wisdom. It's an aged person. It's someone who's middle-aged or retired. There's someone who's fair. There's someone who's nurturing as well. If the Emperor is reversed, it's someone who's domineering, someone who's overly controlling. They're abusing that power, that authority, but it's upright. So it's a really high value individual, whoever this is. And there's something to do with lasting generational wealth. I don't know if I would expect an Emperor to already have that. Let's see what else comes out. We've got the 8 of Swords reversed. So the 8 of Swords, when it's upright, is someone who's stuck in their head. It's mental imprisonment, mental entrapment. They're not really stuck. They just feel like they are. It's perception. When it's reversed, we're getting out of being stuck. So that's definitely getting out of our head to do with a family situation, a situation to do with wealth, family. There's already lasting generational wealth, I believe, because they're showing up as an Emperor. We've got the 10 of Pentacles, which is family. It's normally where 2 incomes are combined. I wonder if you've had a lack of cooperation from this person. This is either someone that's coming in for you in the future, or it's the person that you're potentially breaking up from or having really big problems with. In the outcome, we've got the Temperance, which is the major arcana for Sagittarius. The Temperance is a card of finding emotional equilibrium. There's 2 cups. There's the water represents emotions, and she's trying to pour them out to get the right balance. you need to be balanced so that you can be the archer. You know, Sagittarians are the archer, so they need to be emotionally balanced in order to be ambitious, to then go for what they want, you know, aim and point that arrow and fire to go for their goals. You can't be all over the place emotionally and be focused and balanced to achieve things. So it's very important to approach anything from a place of emotional balance. If you're over emotional, you need to take a step back until you are feeling better. You know, sometimes you just have a day and then you get out the bed on the right side the next day and you're like, I can totally deal with this now. But I'm not saying that's the situation, because you're probably emotional because you feel like this person's uncooperative, but or whoever it is that's, you know, that's showing up on your side, like you're just not getting cooperation from them. That's going to make you emotional. But it's upright, so we are managing our emotions. It's taking effort, but we're doing it. We've got the Queen of Cups reversed, the Five of Cups, the Magician reversed. We're accepting defeat here. I'm going to be honest, we're gutted and we're accepting defeat. Something's over. This is a card of grief. Grief, sadness, loss, regret. The Queen of Cups, when she's upright, is emotionally intelligent, emotionally balanced. When she's reversed, she's over emotional. You know, and you would be with that grief card, like, look at all that water swelling up there. It's very emotive. It's a hard feeling, like something's over, you know, because someone else wants it to be. The Magician reversed is like, I don't have the Ace of Wands. I don't have the universe making this exciting and making this progress. I don't have the Ace of Swords. I don't have honesty. I don't have truth, confession, clarity. I don't have the Ace of Cups, you know, mutual love, being in love, the feeling of like being emotionally invested from them, or I don't. It's one or the other. I think you're upset and heartbroken because they're not cooperating, so it's not mutual love. There's no love there now on their part. You might have respect for you and they might care about you and love you like a family member, but I don't think they're in love anymore. Ace of Cups, Ace of Wands, Ace of Swords, Ace of Pentacles. I don't have the finances to, you know, to fight this or like to offer. Oh, I'm so sorry if this is your situation, Pisces, because it feels awful. It feels horrendous when someone else wants this to be over and you don't. You just want cooperation. The Moon. Okay, so even when things are frightening, even when we don't have all the answers, we don't know what's ahead, we must walk forwards anyway. You know, when you start a new job, you worry about the first day, don't you? Or you worry about going for an interview for something, but then out the other side of it, it's never as bad as what you think. Getting over love, you know, you think you'll never be all right again. You don't understand what your future now looks like. It just looks like an empty space or like it's been erased. Yeah, it's just question marks. It's just a nothingness. It can feel really lonely and really hard. But in the story of the Major Arcana, the Fool realises that he must walk through those gates. He must walk forwards into the next chapter. Because just because we're worried and fearful doesn't mean it's bad stuff that's ahead. It doesn't mean there's bad stuff ahead, okay? You just have to do mind over matter and you just walk forwards anyway, okay? See, that's in the outcome. We're walking forwards anyway. We're gutted, we're devastated, we're grieving, we're sad, but we have to accept the situation for what it is. Right, why is this person, why are they making the decisions that they're making? Sorry for my tummy rumbling. I haven't eaten anything because I thought I'll be getting lunch out soon with my nephews, but I think I might need to eat something. Being burned, afraid to love someone again, unhealed trauma runs away. I wasn't expecting that from an Emperor. But you can be someone that loves and someone that is responsible but struggles with emotional. It's like people who have unhealed wounds, runners, you know, they're running away because there's fear of abandonment, yeah, there's fear of abandonment. Maybe there was a lack of attachment to start with. Trying to give an example, people who've lost a parent at a very, very young age, or they had a parent who was an alcoholic, or a parent who was, you know, a druggie, or, you know, their house was like an open house and they were just there, but they weren't really ever noticed, or, you know, there's people coming and going constantly. They weren't really. You become afraid of feeling like that ever again. So you want a family life, but you run away from people when they're trying to help you or something, because if you be vulnerable with them, they might leave again. Or do you know what I mean? It's like I've not lived that life, so it's hard for me to understand. But obviously, rationally and logically, you hear about ways that people are raised, or raised in inverted commas, and it affects them at a very like visceral level, to a point where their fight or flight kicks in, you know, and they feel like they need to get away from danger where there isn't actually danger, or they feel like they need to preempt some sort of outcome which wasn't going to happen. Do you know what I mean? Like their reaction to stuff is an overreaction. And it doesn't really warrant that reaction, but it's caused by trauma and unhealed wounds. So there's something there with this Emperor to do with that. Now this came out sideways, so I'll read both. Moon Dreamer, love illuminates even the darkest of corners. Well, that's very poetic, isn't it? Eternal renewal. In the cycle of life, understanding breeds hope for what comes next. Toxic. This person, even though they're established, they could be a good provider, they could be like someone that brings home the money. You know, you can tell that they care, you can tell that there's a lot of depth to the person, but they could still have a very unhealthy response to certain situations, that you can't, you're not seeing any change with it. But it's not your fault, Pisces. It's to do with something, their fundamental blueprint of like how to respond to shit is like fully dramatic or like unhealthy. Like they hide from the issue, they hide from, when you run away, you're running away from yourself. You're not running away from the situation because the situation's a threat. You're running away from yourself. You don't want to feel like that again, whatever it was that happened to make this original issue, this trauma. You don't ever want to feel like that again, so you don't allow yourself to feel it, basically. So when they feel in control, it's okay, but when they feel out of control, they'll do a runner. They could have children. It seems like they're married or, being in something for decades, like to have lasting generational wealth. You could have been, together for decades. You could have children. They could be older now. The kids could be in uni, or like have their own kids. Don't have to. Let's get an unspoken truth. It could, to be honest, it could be that you ended it. It could be that you ended it. You can be heartbroken and end something because you feel like your hand's being forced. Your hand's being forced by like their toxic behaviour. And you just wanted the behaviour to change. You didn't want to not be with them, but people have to heal themselves and they may never change. They may never change. You'd need therapy, wouldn't you? And even then it could be too fundamental in your psyche to stop doing a certain pattern of behaviour. But it's having the negative effect on you either way, so it could be that you're devastated, but the person's just not cooperating and it's toxic, so you've got to do this. You come further than you think. Your past shapes you, but it doesn't define you. See, someone's really like they are stuck in the chains of a toxic situation, and you can have a trauma bond with each other, where you kind of become committed to one another because they might feel like they can always be the emperor and always be in control, and you might feel like, well, I'll just work with it because they need me to do that. But that's a trauma bond, okay? Or you might have trauma where you were always the one that I don't necessarily have the life experience to explain that. I can maybe understand on a rational level by reading about it or watching other people's situations, but people trauma bond together. And yeah, sorry, so Taurus, if you go out of this one and you look at the lives that I last did, it'll be that 3 lives down, because I did Aries, Taurus and Gemini in the first live, and then I had to go and get food and stuff, and then I did in the second live, I did Cancer, what's next, Leo and Virgo, and then in the third live I did Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and a squeezed Capricorn in because someone was waiting. But yeah, if you go out this live, you'll be able to find the Taurus one, and it says in the title which signs have been done and which live. Okay. I didn't do Aquarius and Pisces at the weekend because my voice was going and I was like throat clearing and it wasn't nice. So I gave myself a break and I'm fine today. I think it was too much talking. But I haven't been well either, so combination. I know people who've married someone that's been narcissistic. They've had children with that person and they've got assets, but they've needed to divorce them because they just can't they can't get cooperation from this person. This person's overbearing. They are irrational in their reactions to things. Their responses to things are not healthy, and there's toxic stuff there, and it has to come from childhood trauma, but it's unhealthy, and you can't change. It's very, when someone's an emperor, it's attractive, isn't it? Because they've got a certain status. So you might think, oh, they're a GP, or oh, they're, this or that. Oh, they've got their own company, or do you know what I mean? Like, it's a person with like good qualities, but they've got toxic behaviors. So I feel like that's the situation here, to be honest. And it continues, the nightmare continues, like after divorce, because you still got to deal with that person, because you got children with them, because you're trying to separate assets, and, you get financial abuse, and you get people being violent or aggressive because they're not coping with what's happening, and it's difficult to divorce anyway, but to do it with a narcissist is like fucking impossible. Do you know what I mean? So it's rare that people are just born bad, do you know what I mean? But they can do a lot of damage. They can do a lifetime of damage if they're allowed to. Obviously, if they're a psychopath, they're born a psychopath and they're violent and they're this and they're that, but there's a lot of people that just go around being toxic and doing a lot of damage because they've got unhealed traumas, and just the way that they operate on a daily basis is just, not okay. What time is it now? 1 o'clock. Right, I will clarify and we'll get this wrapped up. Date night, get ready to be wined and dined. There could be someone very charming, that apologises for the things that they do. They could be you could be very used to the word sorry. You never hear sorry like frequently off anyone else, but of this person you might get sorry a lot. But it's just doesn't, it's like this endless merry-go-round cycle, this like pattern of behaviour that's just like, you just rather they were just bloody normal. Do you know what I mean? Let's get a new contact message. Playing games. This is a game to me, the way I'm acting, responding, or posting it to get your attention. I don't like the way there's chains date night and playing games. Do you know what I mean? It's this person needs to go and heal themselves, and you can always come back together in the future, but there's stuff that needs to be worked on here. Hi, Angela. I'm just finishing. I'm like near the end of Pisces. I'm only doing Aquarius and Pisces in this one because I had to give my voice a break for a couple of days. But you can, if you want the other signs, you can go out of this live, and it says in the title which signs are done in which live. I can't remember what sign you are, sorry. Stranger things have happened, and people, you know, getting divorced and then remarrying, and it can be like a decade later if it has to be, but ultimately, you know, you just want people to heal, don't you, and just like act normal. Different paths. You are not on the same page with the person you have in mind. The directions you want to move into are different. Unconditional love. The love between you and your person is eternal. Nothing and no one can take it away from you. So I know that seems contradictory, but it's sort of like you can have love for someone and still separate yourself from toxic behaviour that they're exhibiting. Sometimes you need to do that for your own sanity, for your own sense of freedom, and not to be, you know, on the end of their like puppet strings. Because it's not just practically that we're controlled, it's that affects our emotions and our ability to take care of ourselves and our kids, you know. So this person needs to go and work on themselves, I think. Let's get advice. Direction. Trust your inner compass and find your bearings. You got to do what's right for you. Don't live your life because it might, you know, don't stay with the emperor because it might upset the emperor if you leave, you know, or they've gone through this and that, so, you know, I just need to be the martyr that stays with them and like will function as a family by me just always making it okay. No. This person won't ascend spiritually, emotionally, you know, they need to work on themselves if they want to come back into your life. You need to create healthy boundaries, okay? So if you feel like this person's not working together with you, that it's breaking your heart, that it's causing chaos of any sort, then you know what you need to do, because we've got playing games here. Just imagine them like laughing at you behind your back. Like, stop being soppy about it. Stop thinking about their feelings and protect your own sanity and your own, you know, we don't have to like stay in this dynamic, and we don't have to stay out of it, but there has to be work done. We can't just keep having sorries, you know. My nails aren't dirty, by the way. I was throwing pottery last night, so it just gets right under for some reason. It's the slip off the pots. I promise. Realization. The frequency of realization supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in this world. We're becoming aware of our truth, okay? We're ascending, and we're going to cause the person that we care about to ascend by doing that. It's a very important role. Let's get a self-care message. Decision. Ooh. Sometimes the best decision is no decision at all. Okay, what I take from that is, if you're not sure, you know, you stay and then something happens and then you're like, okay, now I know what I'm doing. Now I definitely want to leave, or now I definitely want to work on this, or now I, you know, if you don't know what to do, if it is a karmic situation, it will get worse and worse. Okay, the stakes will get raised. There will be more danger. More laws will get broken. There will be more like physical threat towards you. Whatever it is that's going to push you to leave will happen. I'm not trying to frighten you, but something about this is very toxic, and it may just be that it's an exhausting pattern. You might not be in physical danger by this person, but it may be that emotionally it's just not healthy. You know, the constant like pulling away, running away, the sorries, the needing to be forgiven. It's happening too much. We're not learning anything. Do you know what I mean? So, in that sense, it's not frightening. It's just not healthy, and it can be fixed, but probably not as long as you put up with it. You don't want to be a facilitator, do you know what I mean? And that's what I mean by trauma bond, is like you've got a facilitator and someone that's being unhealthy, and someone that's facilitating that like negative behavior pattern by saying it's okay, by saying like I forgive you again. You know what I mean? Um, my nephews are asking like when I'm going up there, so I'm just gonna get finished and then tell them. I am thankful for all my emotional experiences, as they have shaped who I am today. We don't have to regret getting married, we don't have to regret having children, we don't have to regret having a beautiful home, but maybe we should reflect on the fact that we perhaps facilitated someone who is not healed to continue their negative behaviour pattern, and it could have come from a good place, but it hasn't helped them. It hasn't helped, you know, it hasn't helped us, it hasn't helped our children. We don't have to regret the things that we've done, we just have to learn from what's happened and find a way forward, you know, and it could be that you come back together, but I think there's going to be a realisation that we mustn't just keep going how we are. Mystic healing energy flows through you, you know, so there's healing that needs to be done here. The best takeaway that we've been given here is the unspoken truth, which is your past shapes you, but it doesn't define you. We're not just our past, we're our future as well. You know what I mean? We're going to continue to change, to grow, to evolve, to be better, to do better, to consciously, you know, improve, is to be a good a good person, to be reflective. Is you're always, if you're a reflective person, you're always going to be a winner. You're always going to continue to learn from your mistakes. You're always going to continue to get better, do better, be better. It's a good person, you know, so you can't be embarrassed about the decisions you've made or the choices that you've made or regret them. You're just living a life, and that's the point of life, is to learn, to have experiences and to learn from them. So you mustn't be hard on yourself. That's kind of what it's all about, you know. I am worthy of all the good things that come into my life. I trust in my abilities to overcome any challenge. Oh, I missed that one. I am capable of creating a life filled with purpose and meaning. Have I pulled out everything I can for you? Yes, I have. Right, I hope this helps. I hope it resonates with someone out there. Please give it a like, share, subscribe, follow, repost, hype the channel for me, and I will see you in the next one. If you're looking for any other zodiac signs, they've already been done. You just need to click out of here and go to the other lives. I had to take a break because my voice was gone when I filmed at the weekend, so that's just why Aquarius and Pisces have been done separately. Alright, thanks guys, I'll see you soon.